Hi, I'm DJ Rad Key, and welcome to my 6th vlog. Today is Saturday, June 30th, 2018. Today's vlog, I would like to focus on the Academy. I go to Scratch DJ Academy, which is located in Hollywood. According to the website, it says Miami. They're using Hollywood and Miami interchangeably. The studio used to be in Miami. It's now in Hollywood, and Hollywood is a city just north of Miami. Geographically speaking, it's about halfway between Miami and Fort Lauderdale. Had a great week at the school. Learned what was essentially the fundamentals. The school or the accelerated program, which I'm enrolled in along with DJ Shinobi, is set up for someone who wants to become a professional DJ in a very quick pace. So typically, I think a lot of people who do go to the academy don't necessarily join the accelerated program. They take classes. So you might come in and take sign up for class once a week or twice a week or randomly, or you might take a bunch of classes over the course of a month and not taking you for a while, depending on your schedule. But I am in the Accelerate program. If you do want to learn more, you can go to scratch.com. But to give you a brief synopsis of what's expected as a student in the Accelerated program, it's broken into 5 milestones. The first milestone, which of course just finishing the first week of school, we still haven't reached milestone 1 yet. So milestone 1 is being able to create a mix using proper fundamentals. So I can create mixes. I just am not doing them properly. I do have 2 mixes on SoundCloud. They're definitely not done properly. So that'll be our first milestone, is creating a mix using proper fundamentals. Within this milestone, what's expected from a student is to know a little bit about DJ history, basic music theory, basic song structure, getting to know how to use the equipment, both vinyl and CDJs. We're also going to be taught how to use a controller, but that's kind of backtracking. But there are controllers available in the studio. I use a controller now. I use the Pioneer SX2. I highly recommend it. It goes for about $1,000, and it has everything you need in a compact, small, travelable size. It's great for me playing gigs because I find myself doing gigs a lot of times with at kids' parties, and you don't want to have super expensive equipment at a kids' party because the kids and everybody just wants to touch. I don't want to say touch the records, but touch the controls, they're called paddles. Everybody just wants to touch them, scratch and play with them. It's just like this innate human instinct to want to touch them. And I don't know if there's more to it, something above that's guiding us to want to touch these records, but it's just natural human instinct, I feel. No one walks by a turntable and just looks at it. Like, everybody wants to be like, can I touch that? You know what I mean? So I learned the baby scratch, which is, look it up. But what it does is prepare you to drop it on the 1, and that's I guess the golden rule for baby scratching and scratching in general is drop it on the 1. So what that means is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, drop it, drop the record, let it go, release it. But I found the counting process, I drop it on 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Found that to be easier for me. That's just a word of advice. So dropping it on the 1s, we learn, I believe next week, we're still not going to reach the milestone, which is, creating a mix using proper fundamentals. We're going to learn, I'm told Serato. I know I use Serato. I think most teachers at the academy that I overlook use Serato. Some might use Tractor, but for this academy, I believe it's Serato focused. So Serato is a software for those of you who are completely out of the know. There's multiple software formats. Virtual DJ, which is the beginner format. Serato, Rekordbox is another one. Tractor's the other. I guess those are I don't say the big 4, but essentially outside of that, I don't know what else anybody would be using if I'm missing any. But I do use Serato, so we'll be learning more about Serato. We're going to understand about EQs a little bit. EQs are the little knobs that you turn, the mids, trebles, bass, so on and so forth. We didn't really go a ton into that. We'll probably learn more about that. And then we'll probably, I'm assuming by 1 week from today, working on our first mix, which I'm super excited about. I had overheard another student discussing a future project, and I wasn't sure what milestone he was on, but he was like, this is going to be the mix, my unfamiliar mix. And I read about that in the syllabus, and it's like you pick a mix of music that you don't know. And I thought it was kind of funny. He was using hip hop as a mix that he didn't know. So maybe he doesn't know hip hop. Maybe he's like a reggaeton DJ and like doesn't mess with hip hop. But I was thinking like a mix you didn't know would be like something like I might use Latin music or Spanish music. I'm really unfamiliar with it. I get requests all the time. I just like drop the top 40 of Latin mix charts or whatever. I really don't know. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do one on a Latin mix. But like I guess your options, you could do like a jazz, not jazz, but like you could do like a rock mix, maybe a jazz mix. Techno mix, deep house mix, electro mix. I mean, there's the list goes on and on. So I thought that was kind of weak on his part to do a hip hop mix, but whatever, who am I to judge? Also, like to talk a little bit about the school and the program, there are 4 academies. And I've talked maybe in past vlogs on my podcast that there were 6 academies. So the list would be Hollywood/Miami. We're calling, Hollywood, Miami. That's one I go to. There's one in LA, one in New York, one in Chicago, which makes sense. There were 2 additional locations. One was in Philadelphia and one was in Atlanta. And I went onto the website to verify those locations, and it wasn't on the website. So I checked, Google search Scratch Academy Philadelphia, came up closed. It had like clips like, oh, this and that about it. So it was open at one point. It's now closed. Don't know the details. I'll get back with you on in the future vlog. Maybe I'll talk to my instructor. He might know a little bit more. And then there was also one in Atlanta, and that one said it was closed. Now these could be, I don't know if these are permanent closures, seasonal closures, which would be odd, seasonal, but I don't know those markets. So unfortunately, it looks like there's only 4 Scratch Academies right now. I thought there was 6. I think a perfect location would be Las Vegas. You've got people with tons of disposable income. You've got, to me, I figure the big 3 as far as, and not to discredit Miami, but I mean, actually, maybe Miami is going to be a big 4. Miami's just so associated with like house music and Spanish music, and it's not necessarily considered like a hip hop city. So like maybe when you're considering what the big 3 for hip hop DJs would definitely be like Vegas, New York, and LA, and then Chicago I think would fall just behind, and then Miami, if it's not in the big 3, it's definitely number 4. So that's kind of how I break it down. So maybe there will be a Las Vegas location. I think that's a great idea. Maybe someone will put it together. I'd love to be a part investor, even though I cannot financially invest in it right now. I'd love to be some kind of consultant or something like that if they do open a Las Vegas location. So getting back to, just wrapping up this podcast. Wrapping up this vlog. I do have a podcast coming up, recording on Monday. It's going to be with DJ Fiello, who's also our instructor. He was the instructor on Friday. I believe there's a group of 6 rotating instructors. DJ Mortal taught me on Monday and Wednesday, Fiello on Friday, and Fiello's going to be teaching on Monday as well. And I'm looking forward to it. He's very animated. He had a great presence as far as being a teacher. Great confidence. He even had mentioned his family, all the females in his family were all teachers, which is cool. My mom's a teacher. I feel like there's something about teachers I just can't explain, but they've got a different way of doing things, and it's something maybe you're born with. And good teachers, I believe, are born with that little something special. I know my mom has it. Maybe I have a little bit in me too. And I'd love to teach this course. I'm not gonna lie. He was up there teaching, and I'm like, man, I don't even know what he's getting paid, and that's none of my business. But I'm like, I would love to be a teacher here. I would love to teach here. That would be an incredible job. At this location, the Las Vegas location, hey, maybe if the Philly location and the Atlanta location open up and need new instructors, and October rolls along and I'm finished with this program, I'd love to teach at any of the academies. So Fiello is going to be my a guest on the show. He's going to talk about, we're going to talk about a lot about Drake and Lil Wayne on the show. I don't have any gigs scheduled this weekend, so we're not going to be talking about any of my gigs. But it's Drake just released his Drake just released an album on Thursday. It's huge. It's a double album called Scorpion. I'm gonna give it a listen to it in its entirety over the weekend. We're gonna dissect that album. My throwback artist of the week for the podcast is gonna be Lil Wayne. I could have 50 Cent because it's 50 Cent's birthday, but like 20 years ago, almost to the day, was the release of the Carter 3, which was an enormous album, spawned like all his big hits. I believe he had 5 songs in the top 100 at the time, and the top 100 was like riddled with great hip hop acts. So it was very competitive that summer as far as getting on the top 100, on the Hot 100. So we're going to talk a lot about, and there's that obvious tie-in between, Lil Wayne. I'm not saying next thing he discovered Drake, but he definitely put him on and co-signed for him. He got him to start. Drake was his hook man for a while. Early on in Drake's career, he just was on everybody's song, and he was blowing Lil Wayne up. So, and vice versa, Lil Wayne blew Drake up. So we're going to talk about Lil Wayne and Drake, the combination, the dynamics, and everything else that is music. Hope you enjoyed this 6th vlog. Hope you've learned a lot. Again, as always, be good to people, be nice, and have fun. Have fun in life. That's what life's all about, having fun. You still have to have your boundaries, but you have to enjoy the time you're here. Thanks again. I'm DJ Rad Key. I'm out. Peace.